We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and INQUIRER.net, the country's leading news website. Joining us today is Senatorial candidate Dick Gordon, Richard Dick Gordon. Kung kayo po ay may mga tanong, samahan nyo kami and you can ask your questions via Viber, Line, Fire Chat, and Talk. Sa katunayan, pero kunan muna natin ang initial statement siguro ang ating tanauhin. Senator Gordon, thank you for joining us here on Inquirer Live.
Glad to be here. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that the Inquirer is setting this up before the whole world, and I'm happy to address all the questions.
This is your platform.
Oh, this is our platform.
Pero bago pa tayo nagsimula, may mga text messages na kaagad, may mga nagpadala na via Viber and iba pa nating social networks. Ito na, unahin natin to. Question from Lynn Senupe via Viber. Senator Gordon, how will you differentiate yourself from all the other Trapo candidates and politicians that we have right now? What sets you apart from them?
Well, I think leadership, results, integrity, you'll always hear that from me. A long experience, con delegate, did the Bill of Duties and Obligations, not just the Bill of Rights. Kailangan may tulak ka, hindi lang panay-kabig. And then, of course, I'm a lawyer. I went back to law school. I was the youngest delegate. I was in business at that time. Procter & Gamble hired me in my first job. Then my father was assassinated, so I don't like killers. I do not like crime. As you know, I was mayor of Olongapo. Later on, after the Constitutional Convention, after practicing law, nilinis natin ang Olongapo. Katulong palagi ang tao. Pag nagsama ang leader at ang tao, lalabas ang galing ng Pilipino. So yung sidewalk vendor, naglilinis, nagre-report ng crime. Pwede siya magtinda pero naka-uniforme. Driver, naka-uniforme, may pangalan sa likod, may color code para walang agawan at maayos ang traffic. Hospital, may volunteers lahat tayo doon. Araw-gabi, tanghali, meron tayo doon nagpapalit ng kubrikama para alam nila kung anong problema ng gobyerno para makakatulong. So it was a good interaction between the people and their leader during that time. Pagkatapos noon, tinamaan kami ng pinatubo, nag-iba lahat. Pinagdasal ko sila habang bumubuga ng abo, giniyugig yung bahay, kumukidlat, umakit sila sa taas para tanggalin yung abo. Takot sila, sabi ko, umakit kayo doon kayo magdasal, magdala kayo ng pala at pagpapalain kayo ng Panginoon. Nagpala sila, hindi nagiba yung bahay. Nabuhay kami, in other words, I always use that example because nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. So, pag alis doon, binugbog na naman kami. Well, hindi pa kami tapos doon, pinaalis ang base. Alam nyo ako pro-base doon, hindi ako nahihiya. Dahil, nakikita ko, may base ang Japan, may base ang Korea, nagbabayad pa yung mga Hapon at Koreano, yung pala, nawawise nila yung mga Amerikano. Yung ginugugol na pera para sa militar, hindi nila ginamit nila sa komersyo. So sabi ko, pag pinalis yung base, mawawalan kami ng hanap buhay, we were a one-horse town, lahat ng tao nakadepensa sa base, hindi lang sa labas, pero sa loob. Pero sabi, pag inalis yung base, patay rin tayo sa ating military. All air, no force ang ating Air Force. All coast, no guard ang ating Navy. So sa madaling sabi, experience, manghuha ng negosyo, magpagalaw ng tao. We got 200,000 jobs, $3 billion worth of investments in 6 years. Nagawa natin yan. Pagkatapos doon, pumunta tayo sa tourism. Wow, Philippines. World of wonders. Warm over winter. Where are whales? Watch our whales. Wild over water. Watch our water world. Lahat ng wow makikita mo sa Pilipinas. World of warblers. Lahat. Pati wild over wheels. Wacko over wildlife. Makikita nyo, natural lahat yan. Wala pang investment. Pagdating ko sa Kongreso, ginawa ko ng investment law, yung tourism enterprise law. Kaya ako babalik, hindi pinapairal ng gobyerno. Ginawa ko yung COMELEC law, hindi pinapairal ng gobyerno. Kailangan pa ako umakyat sa Supreme Court at makipag-argue yung 2 beses, yung pangalawang beses. Panalo, 13-0. Talo ang COMELEC, talo ang Solicitor General, yung kanilang thinking na nahihirapan sila, matagal, palagi ganyan. Parang natural na Pilipino tinuturuan nila, mahirap, matagal yan, hindi natin kaya. I am not that kind of guy. I say we can do. I'm a volunteer for 48 years. As a volunteer, I work double time. I work my job, but I always try maabot ang mga tao. Araw-araw may tumatawag sa akin, hindi lang sa dugo, hindi lang sa ambulansya, ngunit yung mga taong nasalanta, we did 139,000 houses during my term. as Red Cross chairman from 2005 to now, and we have done 73,132 houses as of 2 days ago dito sa Red Cross sa Yolanda. Alam namin ang bahay, may papakita ko litrato, may transparency. We gave livelihood money. It's the biggest livelihood money ever given by any Red Cross in the whole world. And I'm very proud that we have adjusted to the disasters of this country, especially climate change. We even have a payloader in Nueva Ecija. We have water tankers, a payloader to clean up the mud na dinala ng climate change na nadala, yung bagyo ng Lola, yung bagyo ng Nona, yung bagyo ng Lando, natapakan lahat ang sakahan. At ngayon tinanggal namin yan, at pagkatapos ngayon may tubig na uli. At meron kami water tankers doon sa Zamboanga para maibsan ang uhaw ng mga tao doon, at nagbibigay kami ng mga pagkain along with local government para doon sa mga nahihirapan na farmers. So, leadership, results, integrity. I think that sets us apart. Apart from the fact that I teach assertion to our people, I always teach. I teach young people to assert, and I also teach them to demand accountability, not just from their leaders, but from themselves.
Leadership, results, integrity. Shouldn't you be running for president with your wealth of experience?
I want to. But unfortunately, the reality is that you have to have billions. Hindi pa nag-uumpisa ang eleksyon. January 17 pa lang, tingnan niyo ang advertising. Billion na ang ginawa ng dalawang running for president. We have ruined our system. Both leadership and people have ruined the system here. We have lost our political parties. Hindi tayo naghahanap, hindi tayo nagve-vet ng karapat-dapat na tao. Kung sino may pera, siya makakabili ng partido. Kung sino may pera, siya makakabayad ng gastos. Kaya it is so formidable a task. I tried with Bayani Fernando. I thought we could give them the performance ticket, the ticket with a decent, political will. Pero, well, natalo kami. Natalo kami dahil hindi kami natalo sa tao. I don't think I lose in any election. That's my attitude. When you go out in the country, you learn. When you lose, you learn from that defeat. The only time you lose is when they've taken away your spirit. My spirit has not been taken. Maybe not now, maybe in the future, who knows. Kung malakas pa ako, baka sakali. Abangan ang susunod na kabanata.
Kayo ay naglibot. Halos nalibot nyo ang buong Pilipinas sa pangangampanya. But are you, umaasa ba kayo sa mga endorsement? Religious and other political groups, for example.
Ang ating bansa, nalibot ko, hindi lang pagpanahon ng kampanya. Marami na ako nalibot na. Nakapasok na ako sa Sulu. Marami sa Sulu. Nagdala na ako, kinuha ko yung mga prutas ng Sulu para imbis na magbaril yung mga tao, walang kumukuha ng prutas. Ang mangustin to, 5 piso 1 kilo. Nilagay ko sa C-130 at dinala ko sa Maynila at binanda ko sa mga malls.
Nung kayo ay tourism secretary?
No, nung ako ay Red Cross volunteer. Nung wala akong trabaho. No, I'm sorry, tourism senator ako noon. Senator ako ng araw na yan. Nakuha ko na rin ang mga hostages doon sa Maluso. No, walang trabaho noong the year 2000. Pakita ko doon sa Maluso, kinuha ko yung mga kinuha ng Abu Sayyaf sa Claret, sa Maluso. Kasama ko yung si Alan Kahukom na chapter administrator at saka si Jerry Salapudin na congressman doon. Nakuha namin sa Abu Sayyaf yun. So, madaling sabi, anywhere you go, tawi-tawi. I've seen teachers na hindi sumasweldo sa Sulu dahil takot ang PRC pumunta ron. Takot magbigay ng examen. And so, tinawagan ko, sumulat ako, and I have a paper to prove it. Tinawagan ko ang Presidente Gloria Macapaglaro, padala nyo yung PRC dyan para mag-examine. Pinapupunta pa nila yung teacher sa Zamboanga para mag-examine, gagastos. Kaya hindi sumusweldo, walang GSIS. Nagawa yan. I've seen the bridge in Bongao for 4 or 5 years, hindi ginagawa. Nakabarandal doon. Nagmabangka ako doon. Pagkabuntis ka, gabi, mamamangka ka, hindi mo makita. Today, it is built. In other words, I assert, I demand accountability, and that is why nalilibot ko ang buong bayan. Tuwing lumalakad ako sa kampanya, no, isang araw na doon ako sa Kabangkalan. Sinadya ko yun dahil kaibigan ko yung mayor doon at inimbitahan niya ako. Pero pagpunta ko doon, nabalitaan ko, gumagawa siya ng airport. Model mayor. Mayor na hindi natatakot sa hamon ng panahon. Gumagawa siya ng international airport. Pinay-payloader niya by municipio, by the governor, and by the mayor para magkaroon ng second airport ang Negros Island. If you separate Negros Island from the Republic, it can be a country. Kaya yung BBL delikado eh. Negros Island can be a separate country. It has its own airport, its own seaport, it has schools, magagawa nilang makipag-trade sa buong mundo. Eh ang Singapore, kaya mong isaksak sa Negros, siguro 40 Singapore kasya doon. So why not? I like people like Pidio, the mayor of that town. Si Pidio, ginagawa niya yun, and I think he is competing with the rest of the best of the world. Hindi takot sa kinabukasan. Yan ang gusto ko. Kaya natututo ko pag umiikot ako. Nakikita ko ang kulang at napupunan ko. It's called WOW, World of Wisdom. Kailangan natin yan.
Binanggit niyo yung mga hostages, Senator.
Yes.
Ang tanong ko is, parang ito ay palagian nyo ng nako-confront as chairman of the Red Cross. And nung kailan lang ay may pinugutan ng ulo, you were the first one who received the information on what happened to the Canadian national. You were the source of information of the Prime Minister of Canada.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
I will not claim that.
Oh,
I probably was the second one who got it or the third one. I have people in that area. Nakakalungkot yan. By the way, the Abu Sayyaf called me and I called the authorities as well because they wanted me to negotiate 3 billion, 1 billion kada ulo. Ang sabi ko sa kanila, pakausap mo muna sa akin. Kaya nakausap ko yung dalawang Canadian na yan. Yung isa Norwegian. Sa madaling sabi, you have to open lines of communication but never negotiate. Especially out of fear. At ang nangyari dyan sa tingin ko ay, yun ang sinasabi ko. Kaya binanggit ko yung kawalan ng atensyon. Kakulangan ng atensyon. Everybody knows arm is the poorest of the poor. Alam natin, kapatid natin yung Muslim. Alam natin ang Muslim had a grand history. The Sultanate of Sulu got Sabah because it helped the Borneo Sultans to defeat yung mga kalaban nila. Nakuha nila yung Sabah. Bakit hindi natin sila? Ba't napapabayaan sila? Not that they need caring, but what you need to do is put in the education na dapat ibigay. Marami namatay sa giyera. Dapat paaralin natin ang bawat bata dyan na bigyan mo ng 1,000 para mag-aral hanggang matapos sila, 1,000 a month hanggang matapos sila yung pag-aaral. Maybe they will be in the light, not in darkness. Kikita ko walang tubig. Nakikita ko kulang ang eskwela. Nakikita ko yung perang hindi umaabot. So dapat ayusin natin yan. Siguro mawawalan tayo. Kailangan right and left. Firm hand in the military. Gun ban, nakita ko nangyari sa Holo kay General Tolentino. Nung punta ako doon, gun ban. Dapat in-extend yun. Pero dapat in-extend, nilalaparan yung karsada. Sa Holo, alam mo yan, paglabas mo, numinipis yung karsada habang papasok ka doon sa malalayong lugar. Dapat pinapasok yan. Dapat hinahanap ko anong kulang para sa ganoon mapawi ang kahirapan at malaman ng mga tao doon, importante sila.
Silently ba may mga natitira pa kasing 24 hostages, and that includes Filipinas?
I knew about the 10 Indonesians, but I kept quiet about it. I know that the shipping company paid for the hostages. And to me, that's wrong because lalo lang gumagaling. Dapat preventive tayo. Hindi dapat nakikidnap yung mga tao. Ang takot ko dyan, Arlene, and I say this to the Filipino nation, we have to provide strong governance in Sulu, in these areas where the Abu Sayyaf reigns. Why? Because baka mamaya gawin tayong raid on Entebbe. Kinuha yung mga hostages ng Hudyo, dinala doon sa Uganda, 2,000 miles away, lumipad ang Israeli, sinugod ang Uganda, kinuha yung hostages, pinagtawanan ng Uganda. It can happen to us that an Indonesia or a Malaysia or a Canada can come here and do things on their own right, which means there's an absence of governance. And if there's an absence of government, that void must be filled not by shooting our brother Muslims, but by providing firm and fair leadership that will provide upliftment of the culture, upliftment of the people's lives. Yan ang kailangan natin dyan.
I don't know, Senator, kung pwede niyo i-confirm ito, but I got an information that one of the hostages, a Filipino, was released through the intercession of the Philippine Red Cross. Is this true?
No, I will tell you if we did, but I won't. I mean, I won't claim to that. We have people who talk with them. Naabot namin yon, pero dun sa tatlong hostages ng araw, ako nakikipag-usap, yung ICRC, dun sa hostages dun sa Basilan, tao ko nakipag-usap. And you know what his reward was? He was hounded by the military. Tinako siya, napapatay ng kanyang pamilya. You do not do that to the Red Cross. I will not allow that to be done. We are independent of the government. I do not use the Red Cross. I let the Red Cross use me so that I can really enforce what I need to do by way of humanitarian conduct.
Question from line, what would be your priority bill if elected?
Number one, lahat na ng tao nangako na ihahango nila ang tao sa kahirapan dito. Matapos ang giyera, lahat mahirap. Lahat ihahango. Meron bang ginawang programa? Wala. Ang susi dyan, tingnan natin, alisin natin ang mata natin sa ating pusod at tumingala tayo. Hindi tayo manok na isang kahig, isang tuka, tapos hihilahin yung leg at puputulin na lang. Kailangan tingnan natin ang kapitbahay. Ang ibang kapitbahay natin lumaki. Bakit? Tingnan ninyo ang pagmamahal nila sa guro at sa kanilang mga kabataan. Tingnan nyo ang lamang natin dati. We had the highest literacy rate in Asia. Ngayon bumaksak tayo. Dati Mercedes-Benz ang taxi natin. Noong araw, ang taxi natin Mercedes-Benz sa Hong Kong, sa China, rickshaw. Yung tao ang kabayo. Ngayon, tao ang kabayo, pajak dito sa atin. Bakit? Pinabayaan natin ang education natin. To me, that is the most important thing that must be in the agenda of any country. Education. Bayaran natin ang teachers katulad ng pagbayad ng Singapore. 133,000 per teacher. Tingnan mo ang Malaysia, 90,000. Hindi ko na sasabihin ng Japan at Korea. Tingnan mo ang China, 50,000. Sa atin, 18,500. This year, tataas ng 19,000. Sa akin, dapat preferred position of choice ng gobyerno ang teacher because sila may hawak ng ating mga kabataan 8 hours a day. Sila nagtuturo ng vision, ng values, ng volunteerism, ng good citizenship. And therefore, don't pay them peanuts. Pay them well. Get our teachers back. How do we do that? Ngayon pa lang, dapat may scholarship program tayo sa magagaling. Tingnan mo sa PUP, tingnan mo sa UP. Tingnan nyo lahat yung babayaran natin ng scholarship. At pag gumraduate, 3 years lang hiningi ko, magturo kayo sa public or private school. At pagkatapos, bayaran natin ang wasto. Taas mo ang standard nila, salary standard. Ngayon, 18,500, gawin natin salary grade 21 at siguro mababayaran mo ng 39,000. Ginawa kong 39,000 muna sapagkat napakataas ng buwis. Pag binayaran mo 40,000 yan, ang buwis niyan 35%. 39,000, ang buwis niyan 25%. Kaya kailangan alagaan mo ang teacher para sa ganon gagaling ang mga bata. Pag gumaling mga bata, like Singapore, foreign direct investment is in Singapore, a city the size of Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority or Clark, has a full employment economy, has more foreign direct investment than the whole of ASEAN, and a per capita income that is the highest, 83,000 per person, per capita income. $83,000. Ang Pilipinas, $7,000. Kaya, to me, education is key. That would be number 1 on my agenda.
Kahapon tinanong ito kay Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, who's running for the presidency. Is the nation ready for a Rodrigo Duterte presidency?
It is not the presidents that matter to me. It is not the form of government that matters to me. It can ease it. Kung educated ang tao natin, we can get the right leader and we can have the proper behavior and standard of behavior that we need to do here. Kung mahina ang leader, dapat magko-compensate tayo. Kung malakas ang leader, we have to assert our freedoms and our accountability and our demand accountability from them. Are we ready for anything? We have to be ready for anything. Elections are on May 9. We must accept the result. Kung manalo si Duterte, manalo si Rojas, I will support. Hanggang hindi sila nagbabaluktot at pag nagbaluktot sila, you will hear my voice.
That's another story.
That's another story.
Question from Twitter, when it comes to crime and punishment, I have to read this. How hard is Dick?
Oh, nakatindig palagi si Dick at alisto. At talagang papasukin niya yan at ilalabas niya yung mga kriminal sa kanyang lugar. At nakita naman ninyo sa Olongapo ng araw, nagamit ko ang tao para isuplong lahat yung mga snatcher, mga pickpocket. Halos walang namamatay nung panahon ko. Bawal mamatay ang pulis sapagkat pag pinapatay ang pulis, masama kayong tao. Kaya ang mga pulis nung kinukulong ko. I was harder on law enforcement. But on the other hand, I gave them bonuses nung panahon natin. Nagpapamardi gras ako para magkaroon sila ng bonus. Pag nagkakasakit sila, tinutulungan natin. Pero ang tao, kailangan may tiwala sa'yo. My phone is public. I'm a public person. Whether I'm in government or as a Red Cross volunteer for 6 years, last year, for the last 6 years, I had no public possession. But my phone is known. Last night, I was in Bulacan, doon sa may bandang Sabang Palay. At sinabi ko lahat, kung kayo ay may kailangan sa dugo, huwag lang kayong hihingi ang load, eto ang telepono ko. You can call me. At tumatawag sila.
Tinawagan ko on the spot.
No, pag-alis ko, mga 7 na kagad. At sinasabi ko, kung may kailangan kayo at nahihirapan kayo, tawagan niyo ako. Kung kaya ko, sasabihin ko. Kung hindi ko kaya, sabihin ko. But at least may lifeline kayo. Life is about lifelines. That's why it's called community. Yung community dapat may lifeline sa kapitbahay, may lifeline yung mayor, may lifeline yung presidente. Kung walang lifeline, pupunta sa iba yon. Kaya sa Sulu, Wala nang lifeline, nasa Abu Sayyaf sila. Nandun sila sa MNLF. Na kung wala lifeline doon sa mga nagugutom na lugar, pupunta sila sa NPA. Kaya ang nangyayari sa atin, kulang ang gobyerno. Kailangan, we must all do our part. And that is why, number one, kayong lahat, pag nagtatrabaho ang tatay ko at nanay ko, high school graduate pareho yan. Pinaaral ako sa Ateneo. At nung makapasok ko sa Ateneo, kaya ko nang pumasok sa Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Mobil, nakuha ko pag-graduate ko. At natanggap ako na walang paki-paki. Kung lahat ng bata magkaroon ng mahusay na teacher, kaya nila kahit ano.
Ito may tanong dito. I think this question comes from a fellow journalist. Ano? The Abu Sayyaf has released new video about the remaining hostages. How should this be handled?
Gingerly, should not give publicity inordinate any amount of publicity to people who kill. You are rewarding them with notoriety that they do not they should not be given to them. In other words, importante sa akin na we know. When I talked with the hostages of the Abu Sayyaf before, nung ICRC, we made sure we had proof of life. Pinakuna namin and we got the pictures. Only later did we release the pictures para sa ganun malaman natin. Kasi pag nakita naman ng mga Abu Sayyaf na pinupugutan, yan ang style ng ISIS. Tinatakot lahat. Pati sundalo natatakot mahuli. Kaya sumusurrender. Ang nangyayari talaga, dapat let us not give publicity, inordinate amount of publicity to those who commit crime. But let us give an ordinate amount of publicity to those who violate the law of this country, particularly from the government.
Nung nakarang election, last presidential election, the Freedom of Information Bill ay isa sa mga issues na pinag-usapan. And I think this question is related to that. Question from line, are you going to support the passage of Freedom of Information Bill to promote transparency and make it harder for corrupt politicians?
I walk my talk. When I was in the Constitutional Convention, they wanted to do an executive session on a vital issue. I cannot even remember it right now. But I said, no, we must have open sessions. Nanalo ko nun. I supported the FOI. I was one of the co-authors. Na-approve yan sa Senate namin. Pagdating sa lower house, hindi na-approve. But that doesn't mean we're right and they're wrong. It only means that there should be limits also. Freedom of information is good, but if you use it badly to bring a government down, because alam nyo, people, like politicians, they live profiles. Today, maganda ang pinapakita, baka hindi mo alam, may dark side. There's always a dark side to everybody. Maaaring nagpapakitang tao lang yan, maaaring tunay na pagkatao niyan ay matino. Kaya lang na, alam niyo ang society natin, you can be co-opted. I thought Marcos was co-opted. I don't think any president runs just because he wants to get rich. I think he wants to get rich. He wants to govern, but at the same time, bago ka makagovern, huhulihin ka na ng malalaking tao sa Pilipinas. Ang laki ng gastos eh. Makikita mo, binibigyan ka. Pipiliin mo yung magbibigay ng gastos sa'yo sapagkat baka mamaya may kapalit yun. Kaya mo bang humindi? Pag hindi mo na kayang humindi, eh talaga matatalian ka. Kaya yan ang kailangan natin. I support that the government should provide the money for TV time in debates. Bayaran ang TV ng debates. Mas mura yon kaysa maging corrupt yung mga tao natin. How do you know that I'm not being paid by China now? So that I would win, so that I would favor them. How do you know that I am not being paid by drugs lords? Para pagdating doon, I will go easy on them. How do you know that I will be co-opted by some big monopolist? Yun ang importante dyan. Kahit napakita mo yan, hindi na alam ng tao yan, ay talagang mako-co-op ka. Na-co-op si Marcos, marami na-co-op dito sa ating bayan. Kung magkamisan, ang lipunan ang siyang nagdidiman. Bakit hindi natin suriin? Bakit hindi mo haharap dyan? At pag nagdebate, yung mga katulad mo magtatanong, katulad ng tanong dito, hindi yung nagbubulyawan, hindi yung personal, at dapat pasagutin. I didn't like the fact that Binay was not allowed to provide his documents because siya ang bugbog sarado eh. Pakita mo, ano ba kung ang proof mo ay proof mo of your innocence, eh, papayagan kita. Debate yan eh. It is your time to show kung sino ka. But, kung ikaw ay propaganda, dapat the debate coordinator should cut it off. Pero dapat debates, not only 3 times, but in every region. Pagpunta mo doon, payag ka ba sa BBL? Tingnan ko kung ikaw itatayo ka at titindig ka pagkaharap ng Muslim. Ako, ginawa ko yun. Magpunta ako sa Darapanan, saksi ko sila Jafar, mga kaibigan natin yan, tinanong ako doon, ang dami nila doon, are you for MOA AD? I said no. It is unconstitutional. You brought me here to tell you the truth, I will tell you the truth. Napisal yan. And they respected it.
And the same thing with the Bangsamoro Basic Law.
I am against it. It's unconstitutional. I do not like to fragment our country. I said Negros. What about Palawan? Palawan can be a separate republic. Well, why didn't I do it before? In naalis ng base, I will just have an agreement. I will declare I will be the 51st state, or I will be a separate republic, and I will have a treaty with America, a perpetual basis agreement. Alam nyo, it can go to the most ridiculous extreme. We must survive or fall as a country. Kaya nakita ninyo, dapat tayo, ang kulang ng ibang tao, ipinapasa sa atin. Kunyari, ang kakulangan ng gobyerno ang siyang nagdala ng mga taong nagpupunta abroad, OFW, tapos sabihin natin, bayani sila. Bayani sila ng pamilya nila. At gumanda ang buhay natin, gumanda ang ekonomiya, yumaman ang mga mall, yumaman ang mga cellphone, pero ang bayan ba natin may choice? Yun ang sinasabi ko. Sino may palpak dyan? It is the duty of government na makapasok dito ang opportunity for our people. Kaya kailangan natin ng mga leader who will bring in foreign investment, domestic investment, build the infrastructure. Nawala ang train. Ang train natin, buhay pa si Rizal, may train na tayo sa Pilipinas. From Manila to Dagupan, 200 kilometers, natapos yan in 4 years bago namatay si Rizal. Umabot sa Bicol, ngayon nasa land train. We are the only country that lost our trains. That's why talaga wala tayong training sa discipline. Bibiro lang ako, no? Pero talaga nawala ang train. Look at Japan. Ang Japan runs by trains. America, 1862 to 1868, tapos yung train. It was the most corrupt project on earth according to Stephen Ambrose. And yet natapos, nadala lahat ang prutas, ang vegetables, ang mga gulay, ang mga grains ng West, at ang mga East nation, ang Eastern Atlantic, they were able to bring the immigrants to the West. So nakita nyo, trains are important. We are a country that has stopped cold. Traffic kills us. Hindi tayo makarating sa appointment. Traffic on land, traffic on air. We are sorry. There will be a delay of about 1 hour. Oh, we're sorry, there will be a delay of 2 hours again, 3 hours, because we're waiting for clearance from the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. If I were the president, I'd kill that guy because my father's name is being used in vain.
Bawal po pumatay.
Di ba? No, being used in vain. Because, ano ba sila sabi doon? Pinapatay mo ang tourism, naghihintay lahat ng tao sa Cebu, sa Bohol, lahat. Buti nga naisip. But what about Subic and Clark? Can you not open those airports now? 3 airports. Nagpapakamatay lahat tayo magkaroon ng airport ng mga bayan.
You seem to be so frustrated with this presidency.
No, I'm not frustrated. I've been frustrated all my life, but I don't let my frustration take over my optimism. Dicks are like that. They never give up. They're always probing. They're always trying to get in. They're always trying to move things. Kaya ganon.
Dick Gordon stands for ambition and discipline. I think this question is related. From line, how can we teach discipline to people with less education? Government should have programs for this.
Tingnan mo yung Olongapo. Lahat ng jeep doon, hindi pwede yung pawis ng Saudi o kiss me stupid. Ang nakalagay doon, aim high Olongapo. Kasunod doon, bawal ang tamad. Mag-ambisyon ka. Walang masama, hindi mayabang yan. Assert, aim high. Pero kailangan masipag ka. Pagka hindi ka masipag, ang tao dyan, burot. Lagdagan mo pa, hindi nakalagay doon, pero alam lahat ng mga tigolo, lalong bawal ang tanga. So mag-aaral ka. Duty, dignity, determination, self-help, self-reliance, cooperation, teamwork, Olongapo. Pag-alis ng base, protect and preserve to prosper. Mag-volunteer ka, protect our reputation, preserve the facilities, and we will have prosperity. Lahat every year. Natuto ang
May
mga
nalimutan
Olongapo.
kayo, fight
Ha?
on.
Fight on, Olongapo. Natamaan tayo ng pinatubo. Fight on. Hindi tayo naghingi sa gobyerno. We just take matters into our own hands and
Ayan na. Olongapo ay tawag nito, bigla ko tuloy naalala nung eksena nung ako'y nag-cover nung sa Olongapo during those days because I am from Olongapo. Para malinaw lang kung where he's coming from. Yung tawag nito, pag Olongapo pinag-uusapan, emotional talaga si Senator Gordon.
and we motivate one another. Anong education? Education is not just what you learn. That is the basic thing. You learn reading, writing, and arithmetic. But the values, you must learn that.
ang pinag-uusapan, tinanong natin si Senator because of discipline. Kasi nga, discipline
Alam mo,
is
kasi
something that
your
that you
family,
lack.
your family, you learn that my father and my mother, that's why I shed tears.
Because in-instill sa inyo yon, tinuro sa inyo.
My father was assassinated, you know,
Yes.
3 times in his
1967.
life. And I was wondering why. Bakit? Matino naman. He was a man born an American. Nanay niya, Tagle, from Cavite. He chose to be a Filipino. All of us want to be Americans. Karamihan sa atin gusto is way back. But my father instilled that. You learn your values from your parents. You learn academics and a little values and community from your school and your church. But kung ang community is one family, you know, every school is a village. Sabi ata rin, I hope if I'm quoting it correctly, even Clinton says that. I thought I'd teach that. Olongapo was an experiment. It was a sin city. Nako, pag ikaw tigo Olongapo, bar girl, we did AIDS. Sabi, puro kayo prostitutes. We had to take ourselves. Pinakita namin. Even if you're a bar girl, you have to have dignity. I prohibited them from wearing shorts na nakalagay mga bikini, nagsasayaw. Sabi ko, gusto nyo makapag-asawa ng Amerikano, mag-dignified kayo. Alam ko, humawak lang kayo sa patalim. You have to respect every member of the community. And you have to remember, aim high. Kahit anong hirap mo, hindi para sa iyo, anak. Hirap lang tayo.
Hanggang dito ka na lang.
Hanggang dyan ka na lang. Wala tayong magagawa. Talagang ganyan. I never learned that from my father and my mother. My father said, walang akala ko, walang kasi, walang sayang, walang kung. And that's where you teach the Filipino people. That's why the leader must have a bully pulpit. Reagan did that very well. Kennedy did that very well. They were not good presidents in the sense that they did good policies, that they taught the Americans to go up. Lincoln did the same thing. In our country, we still have no father figure. We even made Lapu-Lapu a fish. Dapat yun na nga konting victory na nga lang natin to show that it is innate in our country that a Sugbo, Tausug could beat a colonial invader. Nakalagay pa kunyari yan doon sa national anthem. Sa manlulupig di ka pasisiil. Di ba? At pagdabas si Rizal ang mamatay ng dahil sa iyo, ang bayani hindi bayani dahil namatay. My father was not a hero because of the way he died. He was brave, but he was a hero because of what he tried to do for his community in life. And that is what we must learn. We keep talking about corruption, but we don't specify fraud, waste, abuse, stealing from the government. We don't have a steel industry, S-T-E-L, but we do have a steel, S-T-E-A-L industry. Yan ang problema natin. And so it's important that we constantly teach. I am a frustrated teacher. I try to teach the people around me. Sabi nila, terror. Sabi nila, tormentor. Yes, I demand. Pag umabot ka rito, aim, eto na nakuha mo, iaakit ko yan, itataas ko yan. At sabi ko, pag na doon, mahirap. I always hear that. Pag sinabi mo, parang comment, mahirap yan, matagal yan, hindi namin kaya yan. Pero pag tinanggal mo ang maskara, nakalagay sa batas, kailangan meron kang paper trail, dapat makikita mo at nilagay nyo doon sa terms of reference, bumili kayo ng makina, nalagay doon, it must have a verified paper audit trail, and you don't want to use it, dapat graft and corruption ang tawag dyan. Bumili ka, tapos hindi mo gagamitin, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act yan. And that is why we must call a spade a spade. That is why I have to go up to the Supreme Court. I have not gone to the Supreme Court in 3 years. I have not practiced law in a long time. Malakas ang loob ko. Kawagin mo, makapalang mukha ni Dick Gordon. Humarap ako sa Korte Suprema and I argued it before the brand new Solicitor General, before the brand new Chairman, and we got 13-0. Work, save, invest, prosper is what I teach. Bawal ang tamad. Subukan mo, try mo, prove it, whatever you want to call it, but try. You have to risk it. And what is wrong with losing? Everybody loses. It is what you learn from your defeat that makes you better.
You became very emotional when we talk about discipline. Yun ang question na binasa natin from line. Sino sa mga presidente ang sa tingin nyo ay magbibigay ng disiplinang kailangan natin ngayon at this stage of our history?
Well, discipline is not done by intimidation. It's only part and parcel of your armor, if you like. Discipline comes from leading by example. Discipline comes with the ability to say no, not just telling your people, don't do that. Discipline comes from telling them, you must do this. You must ambition for something. We must have a vision is a mental picture of an event in the future that is better than what it is today. We don't have that right now. That's why I don't want to say anything bad about them. It's going to be a difficult task to elect a president this year. And any president that is elected, maganda po tayo dito. You have to have good senators. You have to have good congressmen. It's not too late. Because if you don't have good senators, any president that is elected today will be carrying anchors. Nagdadrag po ng angkla yan dahil may kakulangan. Meron mga bahid na dapat ipaliwanag. Wala naman tao walang bahid, pero medyo maga ngayon. Marami sinasabi kulang, may sinasabi sobra, meron sinasabing teka-teka, meron sinasabing hindi kaya. Kailangan idadrag mo ang anchor dyan. Kaya kailangan maghanda tayo na suportahan at palabasin ang galing nating isa't isa at tayo magbubuhat ng ating bayan.
Umaasa raw ba kayo sa mga endorsement? This question was from at D. Paurom at Inquirer.
Self-help, self-reliance, cooperation is what I believe in. That's what I teach. I've never been reliant upon anybody. I try not to be reliant. It should be the day, a cold day in hell, when I have to say, tulungan mo ako. And that's one of the hardest things I do in the campaign, when I ask for money to help me campaign. Do I rely? I have to rely. But on the other hand, do I rely on endorsements? Yes, I welcome it. But certainly, that's part and parcel of getting into the game. But the reliance based on a contract, an unwritten contract, where I have to do what they want later on, is something that I will not do.
Sino ang presidente ni Dick Gordon?
Ngayon? Mahirap. I cannot say that right now. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm happy in my position that all of them, except one, has endorsed me, but they have not demanded that I endorse them. And, coming from 2013, na ako, ang mahirap pag wala kang presidente. Kasi hindi ka makakapagkampanya na sabay-sabay kayo na may makinarya. But I'd rather have that. And I will just be happy and content with this. I promise the Filipino people this. Whoever gets elected, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I will support, not a honeymoon, but I will expect them right away, hit the ground running, show me what you can do, and if you're going to do the right thing, you will get our support. But if you do something wrong, then we must excise the head of the dragon right away from his body to make sure that the government is run well, because we cannot afford any more setbacks.
Binanggit yung kanina kailangan ng bansa ng father figure. Can Duterte provide that father figure for the country?
I did not say father figure. I said the bully pulpit. I said...
But can he? Direct question, can he be the father figure for the country? This question from John
maybe,
Labasag of Inquirer.
To some, he is the father figure in Davao because along with that colonel, I can't remember his name.
Kalida.
At the time when there was so much destruction and so much murders, they were a shot in the right direction. He became the father figure because nalinis. Marami rin siya nagawa. I don't exactly agree with everything that he says. Sometimes it's inappropriate. I don't exactly agree with his methodology. I don't think you should say something that you don't mean, or say something even if you mean that's not right. You are the president. You have to act presidential. But sometimes people play this. People say, kunyari, ano magagawa ko, marami akong asawa, talagang ganyan. And if we accept it, we're the loser for it. Kahit paano nung araw at least, alam naman natin, marami ring babaero na presidente tinatago. Pero pag nilalabas mo na, what does it say to everybody? To my mind, there's got to be appropriateness of conduct and priorities that must be conducted. Can he be a father figure? You just have to search. I don't want to judge. Others, I'm not too
ibang
sure.
klase ng ama.
Well, it's hard to explain because I don't want to embarrass anybody. But I don't want to say that right now because I think people can decide for themselves. You need to search on your own. You need to look at the life of a person. What has life been? Madali yung ginagawa ni Trillanes. That's the easiest. Destroy, destroy, destroy. Well, we know what we do not want. We do not need the Trillanes to tell us what we do not want. What we need to know is what do we want. And you're never going to get anybody perfect. And sometimes, that's what I hate about this country. It is always the lesser of two evils. In this case, the lesser of four evils. I don't know. I think it's important that we use our head, we use our heart, and make sure hindi tayo sasama dahil mananalo. Gamitin natin ang ulo natin doon sa tama para sa ating bayan.
5 days before the elections, how confident are you na ikaw ay makakabalik sa Senado?
I have worked all my life. You don't campaign 90 days for a position. When you campaign, you offer your whole life. It's not a matter of how many speeches you make or how many hands you shake. It's your record. It's what you've done. It's not whether you've gone over there. To me, when you apply for a job, they ask you, ano bang buhay mo? Saan ka nag-graduate? First job mo, leader ka ba? After your first job, what did you do in your first job? Are you going to make a career out of this? Hindi ka pa lipat-lipat? To me, you are judged by the strength of your character, not your character. I think you are judged by the extent of your experience, not just your sex prowess. I think you must be judged by the fact that you are going to be consistently leading, and you must be predictable, and that you must be able to show that you've done it before, and you must be able to make sure that you can do it for this job. It's not an easy choice this time, I must admit.
This question from Facebook, if you win this national election, would you pass a law to abolish surveys and push for more debates?
Surveys are not bad by itself. I have filed a case against the surveys. Alam mo, galit ako doon sa survey because hindi naman ako nagbabayad ng survey. Ba't yung ako isasali? At saka ngayon, pagka sunod-sunod ang survey, para bang sinusunod
Trending na yun.
Mind management. Hindi trending. Mind management.
Conditioning.
Kaya tayo colonial hangover ang tawag ko Na mind manage tayo na, entresuelo ka lang ha. Mahirap ka lang, huwag kang ambisyoso. Ano masama sa ambisyoso? Sasabihin sa'yo, yung sinvergüenza sa Tagalog, walang hiya. Gusto ko, wala kang hiya. Gusto ko, hindi ka nahihiya magsabi ng totoo. Iba yun sa wala kang modo. No manners. Sa akin, in this particular instance, ang dapat natin talagang sabihin sa ating bayan, talagang vote with your mind and vote with conviction and strength. Hindi ang mangyayari dyan, survey, dyan na ako sa panalo Natalo ba ako noon dahil dyan? Yes! Sabi nila, magaling sana To me, that shows your character. Magaling pero hindi mo iboboto dahil matatalo. Aba, ano ito? Pustahan?
Sugal.
Ano ito?
Sugal.
Pustahan? Ganun lang tayo. Pag nanalo ako. Tingnan mo, lahat ng nanalo sa survey, talo pa rin ang Pilipino. You tell me. Lahat ng nanalo sa survey, talo pa rin hanggang ngayon ang Pilipino. So, mananalo ka lang pagka you vote for the right thing, a right person, and you really will fight for what is right. And believe you me, no president, no matter how popular, Obama, yes, we can. Naku, hating-hata ang mga Amerikano, lumalabas yung pagka-racist ng iba. Aba, nakita mo, ang Cuba ngayon, may first pleasure ship ng Amerikano. Di ba? At tourist ship. May nagawa. Ang importante ngayon, iba talaga nagagalit dahil they don't like the person. Ako, kahit nagalit ako sa tao, I will help. Kahit nagalit ako sa tao, kung magaling ka, I will support. I may not like your manners, I may not like the way you do it, but if you do something good for my country, I will salute you.
Kayo ay tagapagtanggol ng saligang batas. Pero ang tanong na ito mula sa Twitter ay ito, Senator Gordon, do you think it's high time for the government to amend the 1987 Constitution?
Most definitely. I have a confession to make and everybody knows it anyway. I did not vote for this Constitution. I even campaigned against it. Everything I said, hindi yabang ito, happened. Mawawala yung base. Nawala nga ang base. Hihina ang ating military. Humina ang ating military. Magkakagulo tayo. Short terms mean panay quickie projects. 3-year term, hindi pa nakakatapos sa minute yung puwit mo. Kasi eleksyon, nagkangampanya ka na. Yan ang mali. At saka anong term limits? The term limits is us. Kung hindi magaling yung binoto mo, tanggalin mo kay first year siya, first term, second term, third term. Pero kung magaling siya, bakit si Lee Kuan Yew? Tuloy-tuloy. O tingnan nyo Singapore, lotat tayo. Talong-talo tayo. Because tuloy-tuloy, predictable, consistent, and continuous. Ganon rin si Mahathir. You may not like their style. Ganon rin si Park Chung-hee, dictatorship. Sabi nga nila, the best government is the one that serves the people. Hindi yung form. Yan ang tinuturo sa atin ng colonial hangover. Form over substance. What works for us must be the best one. Pero pagka tayo marunong mag-fine-tuning in the middle of the rule, meron tayong capability to reinvent ourselves and we must do that all the time, we must do that. Hindi pwedeng yun na lang yun. Hindi pwedeng kailangan, sabi nga nila, sabi nga ni Cora Alma de Leon, you have to know Dick Gordon because he will always raise the bar. Nagawa mo na yan, tataas na uli. And that's why you will always be working, struggling. There's a heuristic notion to do better things in life.
May mga scenarios na related to cheating in this coming election.
May go back. The reason why I want to amend the Constitution is as follows. Okay, ayaw mo ibenta yung lupa natin. Ayaw mo magkaroon ng lupa. Paano kung ang may-ari ng lupa hindi ginagawa yung lupa? Walang hanap buhay. So palitan mo lang yon as may be authorized by law. As may be provided by law. In other words, the Constitution promotes flexibility. Pag binigay ko yung lupa sa'yo, pag hindi mo ginawa yan, in 3 years, babawiin ko. Pwede yan. Sa akin...
Para pakinabangan.
Dapat pakinabangan. Utilitarian. Hindi yung iyo yan because it's yours. It's just like a lawyer na, iyo yan, titulo ka. Ngayon, sikat na naman. May pumasa sa bar. You now have 69,000 lawyers in the country. You've often heard me say that. Attorney. Meron magkatarungan. Attorney. Wala. Dami natin doktor. 7 out of 10 Filipinos die without having seen a doctor. Anong silbi ng diploma mo kung di mo magamit sa kabutihan ng ibang tao? Ika nga yung iba, meron kasabihan, the converse is which is true. Sic itere tuo aut oleum non leida, sabi nilang ganon. Use your property in such a manner that you do not injure the rights of others. Tama yan. Dapat gamitin mo yung property mo para iaangat mo ang bayan. Gamitin mo yung talento mo para iangat mo yung bayan. Mayroon kang pasobra. That's why, ang angkla ko, yung volunteerism na tinuro sa akin ng magulang ko at nanay ko, lalo na sa Red Cross, kaya yun ang angkla ko. Pag malungkot ako, naandun ako. Because it always gives me actual grace every day. Actual grace. Na talagang may makikita doon. Ayoko, pag tumulong ko, kakalimutan ko. Hindi ko bibilangin, binigyan kita ng duga. In fact, I have a friend now, dati, everybody said he was my worst enemy. Di ko na sasabihin ang pangalan. I did not say. My wife and I helped them at the time of crisis. And one day he came and he said, he helped me in my time of crisis. I said, no, don't say that. Because I never said that to anybody. Nagyakapan kami, magkaibigan kami palagi. Ngayon. So, to my mind, I guess what is important in life is the substance of everything. Yung Constitution, forma yan. Nawala yung Bill of Duties. Nasaan yung Bill of Rights? Andyan. Pero yung Bill of Duties, to serve the country. You're a doctor, you must serve the country kahit na konti. Sa Singapore, pag pumunta ako sa kaibigan ko doon, tatayo, sir, I have to ask your permission to withdraw. Why? I'm a soldier, sir. I'm serving my time. Korea, ganun rin. Nawala pa pati ROTC. So, panay-kabig na lang eh. Yung PPP, good ako dyan. 4Ps, good ako dyan. Pero dapat, after a certain time, ang gobyerno kasama sa programa, binibigyan kita ng pera para makapag-aral ang anak, para magamot ang anak, pero tuturuan kita na maging welder, tuturuan kita maging driver-operator ng payloader, tuturuan kita manahe para sa ganon graduate ka because the hand that receives is always lower than the hand that gives. Wala kang dignidad pagkatanggap ka ng tanggap. Kailangan itayo ka ng bayan, magkaroon ng dignity.
Kabisadong-kabisado niyo ang sistema ng automation, pero maraming nagsasabi na possible ang cheating, pandaraya, massive cheating sa eleksyong ito. Anong sagot niyo dyan?
Yes, I'm afraid of it. In fact, nakikita ninyo, balita ko, ginagamit ang strategy ngayon, pinagtatabi masyado para mapapalitan yung boto. Kaya, na-thwart sila eh. Mayroong resibo ngayon. Kaya hanggang ngayon nilalaban na, akalain mo sabihin ng COMELEC chairman, he's a friend of mine, pero sorry, Chairman, huwag mo sasabihin na baliwala yung resibo. Because pagka nakita ng tao yung resibo at hindi yun ang binoto niya, may...
Papalag.
Oo, papalag at may saysay. Pero sasabihin mo ngayon, parang dinidiscourage mo, huwag mong tingnan yung resibo, walang saysay yan. Excuse me, sir. Where did you study your law? I think it's from the same school that I attended basic at AB. Pero naglaw ka sa atin na, it's a good school. Pero dapat isipin mo, na ang law is for the benefit of our country. Nahihiya ako sa ginagawa ng ibang mga nandyan eh. Alam mo, yung 3 electronic signatures, papalitan mo ng makina. The law says that you cannot canvass without counting and looking at the electronic signatures. they changed that. Worse, they even ask them, oh, you will be asked, would you like to sign the electronic signatures? Then they provide the answer. The answer is no. Ha? At pag sinabi mo, sumagot yan, kunyari uulitin nila, are you sure you don't want to sign? The answer is yes. They will provide the answer. That is trickery, chicanery, and fraud of the highest order. It is coming from a COMELEC that has been a political recidivist since time immemorial. Up to now, you still have the machines that we bought. Storage, hindi natin ginamit. Nakikita natin every year, there's allegations of cheating. About when are we ever going to have some form of services? We made the law to obviate cheating. Speed, wala kang time. Nakita ko 3 days. In America, by midnight, alam mo na kung sino nanalo. Why is it taking 3 days? We're just one state if we're a state of America. Why will it take 3 days? Bakit magtatagal? Hindi ko maintindihan yan.
So pag umabot ng 3 days, bagay sabi ng COMELEC, 48 hours they will have the results, di ba? Should we have a reason to get worried if 3 days na wala pa tayong presidente at vice-presidente?
Yes. Yes. Because kung mabagal, the whole point of automation is so that the ones who will cheat in some place will not be able to change the results. That's the whole point. Pinasasakripisyo natin na ang kausap mong makina. Kaya ang kausap mo ngayong makina, hindi na binibilang sa harap mo, pero dapat merong mga security measures like the source code. By the way, kung hindi pa alam ng buong bansa, hindi tayo nagkaroon ng source code for 2 continuous elections. Nagdidemandahan sila nung last election, nung may-ari ng source code at itong Smartmatic. Dominion. Nung una, hindi umabot yung source code. So what are you talking about? The COMELEC must be impeached. Kaya lang, takot yung mga tao mag-impeach. Eh dapat, talagang ma-impeach.
Will you take that initiative?
Yes, if they continue to do this, if they do something wrong, I cannot take the initiative because impeachment comes from the lower house. Ang problema, political will. That's the problem. And you know that every COMELEC, the president that is in power appoints them. That alone is ground to trust but verify.
Senator, 5 days na lang bago mag-eleksyon, we're almost done with Inquirer Live, and it's been a privilege and an honor to have you here with us. Ano ang mensahe nyo ngayon sa publiko, sa lahat ng kasama natin ngayon sa pagkakataong ito?
Alam niyo, elections are a chance na ma-count yung, narinig nyo na ito na ma-count yung inyong boses Mahirap, mayaman, pareho kayo. Kaya gusto ko yung Bill of Duties. Pagka ikaw nagsundalo, drafted ka, payaman, mahirap, drafted ka. Narinig ko yan kay Senator Jokno Jimmy, sabi niya sa tatay ko, if our sons naghukay sa kalye bilang community work, pareho na ang bayan. So, iyang boto natin ay talagang pareho ang boto ni Dick Gordon, pareho ang boto nung pinakamayaman. Huwag yung pagbibilihan, hindi lang sa salapi, ngunit doon sa mga taya na parang tumatayo kayo sa pusta na mananalo kayo. Talagang pilitin nyo na pag-usap kayo sa pamilya kung sino ang iboboto. Hindi dahil may ninong ninyo o malakas kayo or whatever, iboto nyo yung tama. And my thoughts are, if we miss again, then we will be set back and set back. There's no power in Mindanao. Kulang na kulang. Our transportation system works. Our airports, our seaports, our land transportation doesn't work. And yet, our people manage to do it. If our people, the OFWs, manage to lift us up, if our people, those who are in call centers, manage to move us up, therefore, the voter can move us up. That is my message. The voter must learn to vote and vote well, at dapat lahat tayo sumabay sa mananalo at tulungan natin pag nanalo na siya. At pag magkamali, the merry-go-round starts again.
Senator, marami pong salamat sa panahong binigay niyo sa amin dito sa Inquirer Live.
Thank you, and I apologize if I was emotional. Yan ang sakit namin.
You're Dick Gordon. Talagang ganyan ka.
Mababa ang luha.
Yes, kayo very passionate sa mga bagay na talagang pinaniniwalaan niyo.
Kaya yung mga nagagalit sa akin, passionate lang po ako. I just have a lot of passion. That's why I'm a Dick.
Dick is passionate.
Passionate.
Thank you very much. This is Inquirer Live. I'm Arlene de la Cruz. Sa ngalan po ng lahat ng bumubuo ng Inquirer Live team, marami pong salamat sa pagsama sa amin.
You always